Hello YouTube, my name is MDS and welcome back to Rumor Talk episode 2, 2 years later after the first episode. So I guess episode 3 will be in 3 years time, just to say, keeping a streak going. Hopefully we'll get more of these out of the way, well, when there actually are good rumors to talk about and not just like, random person on 4chan said something, so let's discuss it. Like, there was recently one on 4chan about a Nintendo Direct coming up, which was a very, very bad leak. Or, random guy that supposedly is an insider from an insert company here leaks something from Nintendo, like, that guy that supposedly leaks stuff from Valve that recently discussed what he knows about Breath of the Wild 2, which, listening to his rumor, kinda made me think like that's complete bullshit, because hey, if there's one thing that I kinda know and everybody kinda knows is Breath of the Wild. And by the way, Breath of the Wild, the playthrough that I've been doing on the channel, cheap plug, will keep on going tomorrow. I've been kind of let me just say, lazy and unmotivated to not only make this video, because this video was recorded once, I didn't like it, then I was gonna do it again, and to upload the Breath of the Wild videos that I have ready to go, and even to look and respond to some comments I've been getting over the past 2 weeks. Why? Again, because I've been lazy, unmotivated, and working kind of drains your energy when you have to work with a shit ton of people every day, and it's just a thing, because technically speaking, this is the only time in my life, and probably in a lot of people's lives, where the governments look at you throughout every other day, will be like, yo, you're a piece of shit, we don't care about you, then go like, you're essential, we need you for the country to keep on going, which is a weird frame of mind and weird position to be at. But still, everything should go back to normal in the next few days, and starting today, obviously, with this rumor talk about all the Mario games coming to the Switch, allegedly all of the Mario games coming to the Switch. So allegedly, first things first, the rumor started about 2 weeks ago with a bunch of the Mario games coming for the Switch this year for the 35th anniversary of Mario. Apparently this was all going to start and kick off in June with a live press conference that Nintendo will be doing to discuss the plans for the 35th anniversary of Mario, including details on the games that will be coming to the Nintendo Switch throughout the year, the opening of the theme park, and the Mario movie. Now, not only has this apparently and allegedly been cancelled, because let's be honest, there's no way in hell they're going to do a live event. They could do a live event with people in June. They could still do it, actually. We don't know how things will be looking at, how things will look into months because of the coronavirus. But there are some countries, like in China, things are starting to go back to normal. Funnily enough, China can become a place where they could hold this press conference, following maybe the example of the Premier League, the British Premier League, that one club put forth the idea of ending the Premier League this year in China, because China is getting back to normal while everybody else is just going into lockdown. Although things can change like that, like Japan was a country that wasn't really impacted with the coronavirus, and it's going to be a topic throughout this video, the coronavirus and how they might affect the plans and the games coming this year. Wasn't really a problem in Japan for most of the year. It was a problem, but not as much as, say, obviously China, obviously Italy, the United States, Spain, Canada, Portugal, France, Germany, the UK, a lot of countries where countries went into lockdown, some sooner than others. But Japan didn't really have much, and now it's starting to build up again, so a lot of stuff is now finally being affected. It's funny to see some people say like, oh, we were called conspiracy theorists when we said that Nintendo will be affected because of the coronavirus, and now look at us being proven right, when obviously most of the time, back 2 months ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, throughout the entirety of the year basically, the discussion was coronavirus did not affect the Nintendo Direct, which it didn't. It might affect plans going forward, and even just a tiny bit, we don't know how much it could be, but stuff good way to end that and stuff. But like just now, it's finally Nintendo being affected. Nintendo is now working from home, if I'm not mistaken. We know that Smash is now on work from home, so ARMS, whomever it is, the character that's coming from ARMS that is going to go to Smash Bros, will probably be delayed to July. It could be, depends on how far ahead they are in development and stuff on the announcement trailer, because one thing that I thought was like, believe, I could be wrong on this, one of the studios that works on the Super Smash Bros. CGI trailers is from China, so maybe that would be the reason why things would be postponed. And, you know, one thing happens that apparently in Japan, you actually need to be physically meeting with someone to discuss things revolving, for example, Smash. That's why one of the things that could have led to delays in Smash was those meetings. So that's why it could be why character 6 is an ARMS character, because plans changed, because, you know, it's a Nintendo character. It would be much easier to get a hold of somebody from Nintendo and from ARMS to go in to talk about Smash, to talk about the character and Smash and approving everything, than it would be from somebody from Square Enix or I don't know, Namco or whatever. But still, let's get into the topic at hand, which would be the Nintendo, the Mario thing. So allegedly, a lot of Mario games will be coming out this year, all coming to the Switch. Basically everything, you know how Smash had Everybody's Here, basically it would happen the same thing, but for Mario games. Allegedly, a lot of them would be physically released, not a lot of them digitally released for a lot of them, and some would get physical. The physical release games would be Super Mario 3D World Deluxe, a port from the Wii U game with extra content, a Paper Mario returning to its roots, and Super Mario 3D All-Stars coming late this year as the big anniversary title with the ports or remakes or remasters of Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and the Galaxy games, or at the very least Galaxy 1. Very few people have actually talked about Galaxy 2. So what could we be, let's discuss this rumor in terms of like, is it real? Is it possible? And in the case that it's real, what can we expect from each of these ports, real releases or the games? Well, is it real? It's a coin toss, actually. There's a lot of people talking about it, so it gives it some sense of credibility. The guys that just recently leaked the Nintendo Direct would be happening are talking about it and gave some of this information out. But just because you knew something would happen with the Direct doesn't really mean that you're gonna know everything else. Great example is one of the things that legitimized the leak about the Nintendo Direct, or that the Direct would happen, would have been the fact that the Indies World happened the week before. But again, that Indies World Direct thingy was always going to happen that week because of GDC. Had GDC not been delayed like it was, Nintendo would have still gotten an Indies World like they do at every GDC. Or Gamescom. That's when they do the Indies events. It's right on the week of these two events, GDC in March and Gamescom in August. So right now, by the way, just saying, call myself a leaker, an insider, if you will. Mark this day. Today it's the April 11th or April 12th actually. And by the way, I completely forgot, because I keep forgetting this because of the way the world is. I keep forgetting. I forgot it yesterday all day at work and on Friday. Happy Easter, everyone. 8 minutes into the video and I finally remember today's Easter, because, you know, the world is so fucked up that you kind of forget. This has happened because nobody's actually celebrating Easter this year, so it slips through your mind. I guess that that was the thing I was gonna say, call me an insider leak or everyone, that there will be a Indies World on the week of Gamescom. Which let me just, Gamescom, even if it's cancelled or delayed, let me just see Gamescom 2020 date, if it's still going on, which I think it still is. I don't think it has been delayed. It hasn't been delayed, and it's still allegedly going on for the week of the 25th of August to the Saturday, 29th of August. So I'm saying that the Indies showcase will happen on the 25th or the 26th. Maybe even the 27th. No, it will be the this one was on the 18th. Yeah, so it will be on the 26th of August. Calling it right now. Calling my shot. It's happening then. it's what normally happens. So I wouldn't be calling it anybody that leaked it or predicted it an insider, because it's just patterns. It's what Nintendo normally does. Nintendo there's a lot of patterns that Nintendo do that they don't adhere to patterns when it comes to directs, but it's pretty clear that they do. We always have a Indies World at GDC/Gamescom, directs, general directs, ones that they actually announce with anticipation, are always in the first half of the month. General game directs can happen at any point in time, and indies or minis just get dropped on YouTube, and it also could happen anytime. January 2018 was on the 18th, March 29, 2020, 29 was on the 26th, so you know they don't really have legit or specific dates, but given the ones that happened on the Switch always haven't been on the second half. So real or not is a coin toss. Anybody can leak this. A lot of people were leaking Mario and Rabbids, but that was because it came from Ubisoft, which is a notoriously leaky company. Funnily enough, they had the plumber and they couldn't fix the leaks. Ha ha ha. Funny joke that everybody probably has already made a billion times, but still. And the Star Fox Grand Prix is a great example of everybody knew about it and it was a hoax. Same thing with Metroid Prime Trilogy and Metroid Prime 4 being at the Game Awards 2018, I believe, and as we all know, they were not there. Was it 2018? Yeah, it was 2018, because then it was delayed for 2019. 2019 was delayed, and I believe even more as a poke at insiders that could have been like, oh, we heard about it, but plans changed, you know, cards, it's like wrestling, cards subject to change. Fine, it can change at any point, but that's a very easy cop-out. I could right now tell you, like, yeah, Gamescom, like I just said, Gamescom 26th of August, there's gonna be an Indies World. I got it on very good information right the fuck now that it is gonna happen, but like in June I could be like, oh, but by the way, I'm still very confident it's gonna happen. But plans can change it like that, especially nowadays. You know, the world's crazy, so because of the delay. But what was the nail of the coffin for the possibility of Metroid Prime the year previously is that Jeff Keighley basically did not know what was going to happen in 2018 from Nintendo. What they're going to show. They have the Nintendo pieces, but they didn't exactly know what Nintendo was going to full-blown announce. So, you know, kinda, yeah, you don't really know what you're talking about. Or it was just speculation being passed off as, we know, we can confirm. So it's a coin toss, where it's real or not. I'm gonna say, personally, I think it's a very possibility that it's real. It's the 35th anniversary of Mario. Nintendo already celebrated the 25th anniversary of Mario and the 30th anniversary of Mario, so it wouldn't be surprising if they did the 35th. Not only that, it would be a great plan to go into 2020 against the launch of the brand new systems, because they are not going to outsell the Switch. They're not going to take consumers away from Nintendo, but they would be much more in the news and the hype all around those systems. While it wouldn't take away from their sales, it would still take away from the mind share. So, you know, especially with Animal Crossing launching early in the year, they could just easily do the 35th anniversary of Mario as a big marketing ploy to keep those systems at bay. And with those systems right now very, very likely not going to be launching this year, and I think The Last of Us Part 2 being delayed indefinitely kind of makes me feel like that's a confirmed thing that Sony and Microsoft just don't want to tell us about it. Because, you know, development for games is going to be stunted. It's funny, because before we thought it could be, the delay for these systems could happen because of production in China not being back up by June, so the delays would happen because of it. Now it's the game development being hindered by it because the states are effectively work from home. And if Super Smash Brothers, one character could be very likely delayed at the very least a couple of weeks, from a couple weeks to a month. It's one character on one finished game, which is DLC. I would imagine that a game, and even The Last of Us Part 2 that allegedly is a finished game, is being delayed indefinitely, would be a very weird to me that games for PS5 and Xbox Series X would already be done and ready to completion, or not affected by the possible delays that are going to happen. So I think originally Nintendo's plan probably was, if this is all true, Anniversary Mario competing or being the big marketing ploy to also be in the limelight for as long as possible, and obviously celebrate Mario's anniversary. But it's the 35th. You don't really hear people celebrating the 35th. Normally it's 25th, maybe the 30th, and then like the 50th, not the 35th. The 35th is like a weird one to celebrate, but you know, and obviously I think that if that was their plan, like big marketing ploy, and it's like, oh, Nintendo is still in the news, big thing, especially with an anniversary, or the alleged games that we're going to be having, especially the 3D All-Stars one, with a way to keep mindshare on Nintendo throughout 2020, late 2020, especially with the announcement of other systems and those systems releasing. Then 2021, early 2021, for the fourth anniversary of the Switch, the fourth anniversary of Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild 2 coming out early 2021, maybe March once again, would also be a great play because that's when the other systems would start, you know, really get going, not to the hardcore market, but to the general public. It will be a great, like, here's Breath of the Wild 2, the sequel to one of the greatest games of all time, one of the best games on the Switch. Here it is. And when, like, the other systems will be getting, you know, their early games, you know, the games, how do I put this, the launch window games, maybe ports, cross-platform games on other systems, maybe even including the Switch. So it just comes out with a banger of an exclusive, because very rarely do we have video game systems come out and they have like banging exclusives very early on. The Switch is kind of an anomaly when it comes to that. The Switch first year lineup is incredibly strong, no matter how you look at it. So it could be like those two would be like the back, like the 1-2 punch to compete with those systems. Then 2021 holiday season most likely would be, it probably still is the plan right now, to be Pokemon Diamond and Pearl Remix. 15th anniversary of it, 25th anniversary of Pokemon, makes sense. Also the next year is the 35th anniversary of Zelda, so early on of the year of Pokemon Breath of the Wild 2 would make sense for the 35th anniversary. And maybe we even see Metroid coming out in 2021 with also another 35th anniversary celebration, which wouldn't be really one because Nintendo didn't celebrate the 25th or the 30th anniversary of the series. So yeah, even Prime now could be, Prime Trilogy could be a game that launches this year just because of all the delays. Now, should this be true, what can we expect and what can we expect, Jesus, from these ports of these games launching? Well, here's the thing. I'm expecting it, if it is real, that it is going to be made by the Super Mario World, not Super Mario World, the Super Mario, the 3D Mario team. Basically, they finished Odyssey in allegedly January 2017. The game was done. They just needed time to polish. So, assuming that not the entirety of the team started to working on the game or polish the game, we could logistically or maybe think that as early as March 2017, maybe even earlier, Nintendo started working on the plans for 2020 with these remakes or these ports or whatever you want to call it. I think they're going to be full-fledged remakes. I think at very least Mario 64 would be, with Galaxy probably being a 1080p port of the Shield version of the game that came out in China. Okay, small cut there, had to stop for a little bit. So I was talking about, okay, trying to grab my bridge there. I was talking about what to expect on the actual release of the 3D World, or the 3D Collection, or 3D All-Star. So I said, the last thing I said was about the Galaxy. Yeah, Galaxy I expect, if this is all real, to be just the Chinese release of the game on the Shield, which would be a 1080p up-res port, I think, which, to be honest, on Dolphin and stuff, Jesus, Galaxy does look beautiful. It's a great looking game still. They could obviously upgrade textures and models, but I don't think the game would look that much different. Now, Sunshine, I think, is a game that probably will have some more tweaks. It probably will be now at 60 FPS like it was originally meant to be. It's going to be up-res, obviously. Textures probably redefined as well, and they probably will mess with the physics of that game, because that's one of the problems that Sunshine had, was the physics and the camera control. So I think both of those would be the tweaks that we're going to be seeing. And then obviously 64, probably they will take Super Mario 64 DS, bring it forth to HD, remake a lot of them, not a lot of them, remake it from the ground up, basically. But with 3 years they've been working on the other games, I think this would still be done relatively quickly because it's Super Mario 64. They're not making a brand new game. They're taking what already was done and rebuilding it. Let's put it that way. Things, and especially with an engine already done. Extra things I expect, I should say, for the other two games would be probably more levels. I don't know how much how much more you can put into Sunshine. Maybe just a playable Luigi, but outside of it, I don't see much. Same thing with Galaxy. I think we already have Super Luigi Galaxy. If 2 comes about, they probably could do Super Luigi Galaxy 2 as well. Let's put it that way. Maybe some other characters that could be interesting to see. Maybe a playable Wario or a playable Daisy in one of these games, playable Toad in the Galaxies and Sunshine. On 64, in 64 already have the DS version had Luigi, Wario, and Yoshi. I believe those are the only 3 characters, but they were 3 characters still. I could expect them maybe to add Rosalina. She's become obviously a big hit since the 64 release of DS, I should say. And maybe I could see Daisy now because, like, you know, she's in Smash. Maybe Toad, who's become a standard in the Mario games. And yeah, for 3D World, obviously there's talk about adding new levels. Now, would these be new levels or 3D land levels? It's up in the air. I could see maybe it's 3D World Deluxe, but it's 3D World. When you beat 3D World, you get 3D Land as an expansion. Let's put it that way. I could also see them again adding characters. Wario and Daisy being the great 2 examples. Maybe and Yoshi too. Like you could play as baby Yoshi and you get it. The only power up Yoshi can get is a mushroom, but he has a flutter jump and you can use his tongue. Wario, he also could be like, you can have a mushroom. When it's in mushroom, the Wario can dash and do a shoulder bash, much like he does in his own series, but once he gets power-ups, he loses that ability, which would be interesting. I don't know if they could do anything with Daisy in particular. Maybe she, as a normal character, she has a running is a little bit faster than Peach, but can't float, but maybe like she can pull turnips. That's her special ability. I don't know, I'm just pulling things out of my ass at this point. Paper Mario obviously returned to form. It would be a regular old RPG like Paper Mario and Paper Mario and Paper Mario 1000 Year Door were. Not really much to say, but there was also speculation of other things that could be coming to Switch. With all of this, that would be digital only. I can kind of see maybe like them porting over older games. Like maybe we don't get a Strikers, but we get a new Strikers, but we get the Strikers Charge in HD, and it comes just to the virtual, not the virtual console, but to the eShop. The same thing could happen to like Paper Mario 1000 Year Door HD if they decide to do it. And same thing with 64. Jesus. Maybe we could see the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance coming to the NSO, maybe Nintendo 64 also coming to the NSO, and be a part of all of this in like digital form. That would be another way to do it and entice people to get it. Maybe like a new Mario game that could launch exclusively on the NSO, much like Tetris, and be exclusive to members, which could happen. I don't think it will, but it's a possibility there. And has the coronavirus affected all this? Well, it's hard to say, really. Again, this could have began development as maybe as early as March, maybe earlier, but like the earliest that I could see would be like August, September, probably like, yeah, August, summer of 2017. So the games probably were, at this point in time, were probably close to completion, and probably were like Odyssey was 3 years ago, just getting polished. So I don't really see a lot of the things that the coronavirus would impact it. Even working from home, I don't know how much companies can actually work, how it would work. I don't know. It's weird to discuss that because we've never been in a situation where a lot of game developers have been working from home, so we can't really speculate on what's happening. But then that leaves a huge open question mark on how early these things could be. But speculation is that we could be hearing about the Nintendo's plans before May 7th because of Nintendo's investors meeting Is it possible? Yeah, especially if it's a Mario Direct. I would say sooner rather than later. When this could be releasing? Well, if the original plan was to do this in June and reveal everything in June, then I would say like 3D World will be like late July, early August, maybe late August. Paper Mario will be like September, October, with the 3D All-Stars being in November, be the holiday title. Even now that seems to be likely, with everything else being launched in the NSO and on the eShop maybe in September, like they did originally for Mario Maker. Mario Maker came out on September 11th, 2015, because it was the closest date to the launch of the original Super Mario Brothers within the West, and this year it would be on the 11th again. Yeah, it would be once again on the 11th. Anniversary would be once again on the 11th. That's the closest Friday to it. It would be again September 11th. Funny how the world works sometimes. But yeah, can we expect this all? I don't know. Possibly. If it is coming now and things are planned to be announced in April, then I could see Mario Maker being... Mario Maker. 3D World Deluxe taking the role of Mario Maker in 20... No, not in Mario Maker. Coming out in June, late June. We have Clubhouse games coming in early June, so late June would be a great time for releasing it. Then Paper Mario probably like late August, like Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle 3 years ago, actually, not 2 years ago. And then, hey, maybe 3D All-Stars comes out on October 27th. Can it come out on October 27th? No. It could, but it will be a Tuesday, so October 30th, and take the role of Super Mario Sunshine Odyssey from, again, 3 years ago. Actually, by the way, when was it? Was the August 29th would be the release date of Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, so I'm saying the 28th of August for Paper Mario. So if everything is announced this month, here's my predictions for launch dates. The 30th, wait, when was Super Mario Maker? Let me see. Let me just make sure I'm saying this correct. Where's the release date? It's not there. Okay, there it is. The release date for Mario Maker 2 was... Okay, so here's my predictions. 3D World, if everything's announced this month, 3D World will be on June 26th, August 28th for Paper Mario, and 3D All-Stars October 29th. The closest dates to the launches of the games that came out for Mario in 2017 or 2019, so Mario Maker last year, and the 2017 Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle and Odyssey. That's my prediction. But anyway, tell me in the comment section, what do you think of these rumors and everything going on with these rumors, with Super Mario coming to the Switch in all its glory? Do you think it's real? First things first, if you think it's real, what do you think of all the games, how they will be coming, and what features, special features, extra features would they add into each of these games? Should each of these games bring anything new, or do you expect them to just be straight up ports? God, if they are, Mario 64 is going to look butt ugly on HD TVs or 4K TVs, because that game, visually, he's not aged that well, especially if you're playing in HD, but still. And so, assuming once again, if it's real, when do you expect them to release? Anyway, I've been the Legend of the Yes. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Breath of the Wild 2 Breath of the Wild's Master Mode playthrough continues tomorrow. And yeah, I'll be soon once again, probably if I don't get too lazy once again or unmotivated once again, we'll be seeing videos coming out soon regarding revisiting the 2020 Nintendo lineup, because, you know, coronavirus, and revisiting, not only because of coronavirus, the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Volume 2, but also how much ARMS kind of makes and shakes things up around here when it comes to the volume. So anyway, thank you for watching. See you guys next time.